Okay, now we're going to move to attach the shield on the other side. Let's go ahead and get the cord out of the way. Now on this side, we're going to be using the right hand holes. So right hand hole on the crossbar as well as on the reflector shield. Now one thing that might make things a little bit easier if you are, especially if you're doing this on your own, is to go ahead and put the screw through the lamp and then through the reflector shield and then lining it up with this hole. Okay, so let's line up the holes and just kind of squeeze it together while you grab your screwdriver. This side will line up a little bit easier. Okay, now we will be attaching the wing nuts to the back to tighten things down. But one thing that you want to keep in mind while you're tightening the wing nuts down is that we are going to be pushing these reflector shields as close together as possible. So you don't want to tighten them down too much until you have been able to do that. So leave a little bit of play. Okay, now that we have both shields on, we're going to get these two shields together as close as possible. So give it a little squeeze on both sides, and then grab your screwdriver, be holding the washer, and you can tighten that screw. Okay, now we're going to be putting the light bulbs in and attaching light casings. Let's pull these forward. Take out your light bulb. You'll notice there are prongs on either side. Those need to line up and go through the slots. Now one tip, sometimes they're a little tight to get in. If you kind of lift up and pull in the center, it spreads those, so go in a little easier. Make sure you push it down all the way in. Once it's all the way in, give it like a quarter turn towards yourself. And you'll hear it kind of click in. Let's go ahead and attach the casing while we're here. Snap it along. Let's move on to the other one. Okay, it's all the way in. Give it a turn. Okay, hear that click? Let's attach the casing. There we go. Now we're going to be turning it over and we're going to be taping this seam together, but you want to be sure that you're doing it on the outside because we don't want any color affecting the light within our photographs. Now we've gone ahead and flipped it over and we're going to be taping these two shields together. One tip is that you can tape the very bottom together first to kind of hold it together so that when you run your long piece down, it makes the seam a little bit easier. Just kind of tape those bottom together. Now you want to be using either like a white duct tape, a gaffer's tape, or you may even be able to use like an athletic tape. Something that's white helps, but you want to be sure you're doing it on the outside so that it's not going to be distracting from your picture or adding any color into your photographs. So we're going to line this up. Notice I have a little hanging over that I can just tuck under, make sure it stays together nicely. Okay, now that we have taped our two shields together, we're going to attach our legs and feet. So you'll want to grab your thumb screws. And a couple things to keep in mind as you are attaching these. One, we're going to be hanging it over a table, just makes it a little bit easier. Also, when you are looking at the leg and foot, you want the flat part facing out, and you also want it facing in the same direction that the shields are facing. Okay, so we're gonna attach it. You'll put it, a good place to start is probably about 5 holes down for the locating screw, and then you're gonna be attaching the thumb screw through the fourth hole. It just gives you a good place to start, good height to start at for your photographs. You can always move it up and down depending upon the height you need for your items. Okay, let's go to the other side. The same thing. Maybe move it over the ledge a little bit. 5th hole down for the locating screw. 4th hole for the thumb screw. Now we are ready to set up our support. You'll notice there are extra holes on the outside. Now those, if you're making a permanent studio setup, you can just drill right into whatever table you're using. Well, don't use a nice one, but. Okay, we're gonna turn this around and get ready to put the background in place. Now that we have the background in and we've uncoiled the cords, we're just gonna tape them together and then run them up along the top. So I'm gonna take a piece of tape, just tape them together. Makes it a little easier to work with. And tuck them in behind. I am gonna grab another piece of tape just to keep these together. And let's just do one more for good measure. And then we'll plug it in and turn on the light. Now you'll either need an extension cord that has a spot for 2 outlets, or you can use a wall socket if you're close enough. So now that it's plugged in, let's go ahead and turn it on. The light switches are going to be in the center. So let's turn both of them on. One thing you may notice is for the first 10 to 15 minutes, the light might flicker a bit, but that's okay. It's just because it's a new light bulb. It'll even out after 10 to 15 minutes. So now you have it set up. There's one last thing to do, and that is the bounce cards. Okay, now you have your My Studio 32 set up, everything but the bounce cards. So grab both of your bounce cards. These are the supports. It is helpful to have a tape measure. You don't have to. These run about 20 inches long. And so I'm gonna put the tape measure there just to help me be precise in lining up of the support. Now you take the support and you punch along the perforations, fold away from the adhesive, fold in. You'll wanna line up with the notches. Okay, so that's what it ends up looking like. Remove your adhesive. Line up with the center of that along the 10-inch mark, or if you've drawn a line. And press firmly, and voila. Okay, we have completed the setup of our My Studio 32 tabletop photo studio. As you can see, it provides a seamless background with color-corrected lighting, and you are well on your way to taking some great photos of your products. Be sure to check out our other videos where we will be demonstrating the My Studio 32 as well as the My Studio 20 and photographing a variety of products and giving you some tips and pointers on how to take great photos. Have fun and enjoy.